السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال سبحانه وتعالى: وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. صدق الله المولانا العظيم. All praises to our Lord, our Creator, our Nourisher, and peace and blessings be upon Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the final messenger. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. So, this ayat that we recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala therein orders that amongst you there should be a community of people, يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ, they should invite others towards good deeds, وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and they should order good deeds, and وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and they should stop wrongdoings. They should assist in stopping the wrongdoings. So the first part mentions يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. This group should call people towards khayr, towards good deeds. When we invite someone, that person either A, he knows but he's not doing something, or he doesn't even know that he's supposed to do that. So for example, let's just say somebody is eating haram food, but he doesn't know that it's haram food. Or he knows it's haram food, but he doesn't know that it's a big sin. So in both those cases, when we speak to him, either he'll be very understanding, or he might go into denial. He might be understanding, or he might go into denial. So if he didn't know, now he knows, he might be a decent person. He might say, oh sure, I'll do it. I didn't know this was haram food. Now that I know, I will not be eating it. The next scenario is when the person goes into denial. For those of us who don't know what is denial, denial is the first stage when something big has happened. We first go into denial. We deny that is the truth. For example, they say when you go to the doctor and you're told of a big sickness, that you might be having a big sickness. Or a family member, a close family member, might be having a sickness. Then generally the person will be in a denial and say, no, I don't think so. So if somebody was told you have severe cancer, or your family member has a severe cancer, so the first stage is denial. And it's common, we all, like professionals, they will tell you it's very common. Whenever we tell some patient that they have a serious issue, they first go into denial. They deny, they say, no, that can't be possible. So now we have to understand that also happens when we teach Islam. Whenever we spread Islam, half of the time, people go into denial. They say, no. And they use their emotions as a proof of denying the truth. So they feel that whatever the person mentioned could be true, but my emotions are saying something else. My emotions are saying something else. So suddenly they start thinking that my emotions are equal to what the person is saying. So this person is telling me an ayat about a command of Islam, but my emotions are saying this. And the more the person argues, the more the person thinks his emotions actually have weight in the argument. But try to see how silly this interaction is. One person is mentioning the command of the Sharia. The Quran says do this. The Hadith says do this. The other person keeps talking about his emotions. I didn't know this ayat. I can't believe I didn't know this. Or I didn't know the ayat means this. Or somebody told me something else. So basically the person is arguing and trying to convince the person that whatever you're saying, my emotions are not accepting it. My emotions, they're not able to accept it. So this is where we as Muslims, we need to take a full stop. Take a full stop and ask ourselves, do my emotions predict the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Does my emotions really mean anything in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Can I just get upset and say, no, I don't want to do this? By me frowning, does that make it change? Does that change the rulings of the Sharia? It doesn't. For example, the cop stops you, the police stops you and tells you, sir, you're speeding. So now, generally, the response is, my mother is sick. Something emotional comes out of the person. When the cop pulls somebody over and says, sir, you're speeding, the response normally is emotional response. I'm late for work, I might get fired. I'm late for work, I might get fired. Do you not see that the police doesn't care what your emotions are saying to you? Your emotions are saying, go faster, drive faster. You need to get to work on time so you don't get fired. That's what our emotions are saying. Ihsas. Our ihsas is saying, go faster. You don't want to get fired for work. But when the police stops you, he says, sir, I don't care why you're speeding. Sir, I don't care why you're speeding. I don't want to know any reasons. I am just telling you you're moving too fast on this road. You're moving too fast on the road and that is not allowed. So the person gets confused, but my job. And the cops keeps telling you no, but you're speeding. So this is the same dilemma we have with the religion of Allah. We find out something in the deen, but our emotions start playing with us. I'll give you a very, very interesting hadith. Very interesting hadith. One lady, before the advent of Islam, before the commands of the Sharia were clear, when things weren't so clear, one thing that was allowed was screaming at somebody's janazah. If somebody has passed away, we're not supposed to scream and hit ourselves. And some people pull their clothes, some people shave their heads. In the Jahiliyyah days, they would do strange things like that, shave their head, rip their clothes, or hit themselves. Or nawha is to cry loudly. To cry loudly. So one lady, she came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Prophet of Allah, you are telling us not to scream loudly when somebody has died, but somebody cried in my son's janazah. Some lady, she cried loudly in my son's janazah. So I need permission from you. When somebody dies in her family, I want permission to cry in her janazah. So you see how emotional that is? And it just shows you, they're like, oh, she screamed in my janazah, so now she did something good for me. She screamed in my janazah of my son or whoever that was, but now I have to scream and cry in her son's janazah. So she kept asking for permission until I think Nabi said, it's okay, you can do it. But it just shows you sometimes a person is not in the right state of mind. It doesn't change the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't change the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nawha, screaming and crying in a janazah, is still not allowed. Because the lady wasn't stable, so Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave her permission to do it. So we should not be like that unstable person who thinks that by being emotional, I can twist and turn the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for example, somebody misses Fajr Salat. Somebody misses Fajr Salat. So now you ask him, brother, what are you doing? You miss your Fajr. He's like, oh, I was so stressed last night, so I watched 5 movies, and then I went to sleep late. I was stressed, I watched some movies, I couldn't go to sleep, I was so stressed, I watched so many movies, I went to sleep late. Inshallah, Allah will forgive me because I was so stressed. So that's an emotional response, that doesn't count. You were stressed, that's fine, but you cannot sit for 4 hours watching movies and then say, it's okay, Allah will forgive me, I was stressed because I was watching movies out of stress. So we cannot live a life based on emotions. Maybe momentarily somebody can have emotions. Momentarily, somebody can have emotions, but after a while we have to wake up ourselves and others and tell them this is not how it works. You're emotional, but you have to calm down. Many times with kids, if you take away their games, or you tell them go do your homework, the kids start screaming. So you say, no, I understand you're stressed. I know you want to play games. I know you're sad. I know you're upset that I took your game from you. But please calm down, and once you calm down, you can go back to your homework. Although your emotions are saying, I want to play games. That's fine, I know your emotions. That's why many times they say, if you're the adult taking care of kids, be careful with their emotions. Do not get angry when a kid gets angry. Many times we think, if a child is showing too much emotions, he's screaming and crying, then that means if I get more angry, he'll calm down. We think if we get more angry, the child will know what to do. He doesn't. Kids do not know how to regulate their emotions. It's called emotional regulation. So the kid, he knows he has to go do his homework. But his nafs is saying, go play video games. So when you tell him, no, give me your game, put it away, go do your homework. The kid knows he has to go do his homework, but he starts crying. So don't get angry. Give them 1 minute, 2 minutes to cry, to calm down. You hug them, you tell them, I know you're feeling bad. I know you're feeling bad and you want to play more games, but please try to understand me. So the kid will understand that there's 2 things. One is I have to do my homework, although I'm angry, although I want to play games. So give people time to work out their emotions. That's what I'm trying to explain here. Give kids time to work out their emotions. Don't think that the child is disrespecting your authority. Many times we parents, we think the kid is talking back to me, he's disrespecting me, and he's breaking my orders. He has no respect in the house for anybody. That's not the case. The kid has respect. He doesn't know how to control his emotions. So we need to help kids regulate their emotions. They could get upset, but we need to stay calm. If we also get very angry and the kid is angry, they say there's 2 kids now. The kid is angry and the adult is also becoming a kid. If the elder is getting more angry because the kid is angry, that means there's 2 children in the situation. The kid has no control and the adult has no control. So now there's an age difference, but the actions are the same. The kid is getting more angry and the father is getting more angry also. So in reality, they're both the same. They both don't know how to control their emotions. So once I heard this, when I found out, I felt like a child. I'm like, subhanAllah, we get angry sometimes when our kids don't listen. That means we're also children because we're acting like children, we're getting more angry. So today's reminder is about emotions. That emotions do not change the ruling in religion. If I am doing something wrong and you tell me, brother, don't do it, I cannot just say something emotional and say I'm angry, I'm sad, or I'm really happy today. That's why I'm blasting music in my wedding. So somebody's blasting music and you say, brother, please don't do this. He's like, oh, it's my wedding day, I want to. So you say, brother, it's fine, I know you're happy. I know you're happy, but being happy doesn't change the conditions in Islam. You being emotional doesn't change the religion, please. So once we can convince ourselves we feel, inshallah, what's going to happen is we'll feel more calmer and more controlled when we find a difficult command of the Sharia. Look at Iblis, look at Shaitan quickly. What did he do? He was told to show respect to the first human, Adam alayhi salam. He was told, show respect to Adam alayhi salam. He just said, no, I don't feel like it. Ana khayru minhu, I feel like I'm better than him. I am better than him, so I don't want to do it. So you see how he just used a little bit of emotions and ego, and that destroyed him. He didn't realize who he's talking to. Shaitan, he didn't realize who he's talking to. He just focused on the discussion. The discussion is, I am fire, Adam equals sand, and fire is better than sand. So he's getting stuck in the discussion. Fire is better than sand. That's not the discussion, bhai. Leave the discussion alone. We don't care what's better, sand or fire. Shaitan is made out of fire. Humans are made out of dust. So who's better? We're not going into that discussion. The main discussion here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you, the shaitan, to show respect to Adam alayhi salam. And shaitan said no. So that is the problem. Shaitan thought that his emotions have value. He can use his emotions to argue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So from there we learn our ego, astaghfirullah, I'm going to say it like that, our egos does not equal God. Your ego, my ego is not a God. It's just a thought, it's just an emotion. We sometimes take our egos, our izzat, we put it so high, as if it's a statue that I have to worship my ego. So if somebody small tells you, somebody less religious, somebody weaker, your smaller sister, your wife, your lesser rich friend tells you what to do, we get so angry. He's less than me, why is he telling me what to do? So that means our ego, our izzat is too high. And nobody's able to talk to us. And that's why Shaitan was like that. His ego was too much, his izzat was too much. So may Allah save us from thinking like that. And whenever our brain goes into denial, somebody tells us the truth and we say, no, we should tell ourselves, calm down. Maybe he's right. I need to think about it again right now. My ego, my izzat is too much. I'm getting arrogant. Let me calm down. Maybe the person is right. So once we do that, inshallah, it will give us more chances to think about our decisions in life. And inshallah, it will save us from making bad mistakes. Jazakumullah.